this happen for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, and we have amazing people on this podcast every single week, and we're working our way actually be doing it 2 times a week. If you're noticing that this podcast, just like last podcast, was up on Friday, so I made the change to start posting on Fridays. It gives me a little bit more time to edit these. Now, if you can't see, if you're not watching video form, if you're just watching audio form, the people that are watching video form, they're going to be able to notice that we actually have 3 different cameras set up because we want to continue to keep bringing quality, not only quality in conversation, but quality with video and audio, which is crazy because that's why I moved to Vegas. I literally moved here to Vegas to start a podcast, and it has a podcast studio here. We have a podcast studio here, and I decided to build one inside of my own place. So anyways, with that being said, I'm done promoting the podcast now. Also, too, if you haven't got the Modified Macros ebook volume 2, go ahead and pick that up. Volume 3 is coming out. We do have a subscription base. If you're looking to start eating clean, making better decisions, Modified Macros, we got you covered. Also, too, all my links will always be down below. But we have an amazing person today. We have someone that when I moved to Vegas, I seen our boy Big John. We all know who Big John is, Big John. She was training her. She looked like a badass. So, Cece, yes. How is it going?
It's going well. Feeling good. I'm glad to be here. Thankful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
A little bit, but, just, because the cameras, but, I'm excited.
Yeah, we know, like, no one can see, obviously, in front of us. We see the shit show of cords and everything around us, but no, we got Francine over there being what is it called, a live mixer?
Yes.
Yeah, she's live mixing right now. You know what I mean? Me and Frankie, we're not a one-man band. We're a team. We're just a team. We're a team. So she's never done this before. This is her first time using it, and I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
I know when I was over there chilling, because I was really tired right now. I've had a very long day. And I was like, I need like 10 minutes to like chill, make some content real quick. And she was like, I heard her talking to you and I make you feel comfortable, showing you how everything is going to be set up. I was like, I'm so proud of that girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's a warrior. She's a warrior. So shout out to Frankie because she's really a big part of making this podcast so much more value. On top of that, she set it up with you, Cece. Like she set it up with you. She got it scheduled and got you in. And now we're about to have an amazing conversation. But I want you to let everyone know who Cece is.
Yeah. So my name's Cece. I am a videographer, photographer. I work in entertainment. I do a lot of things in entertainment. I'm from down south. Grew up in South Carolina, Georgia as well. I've lived down south my entire life until I moved out west. So like 3.5 years ago. I come from a big family. My entire family, when I say my entire family is from the South. Like, we are from nowhere else. Like,
it's just the South.
Yeah, just the South.
How is it out there? I picture like all that like cool rap music out here. Like when you said the South, like North Carolina and stuff like that. That was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how is it cool out there? Is it like really like a hip hop scene out there?
It is. All throughout the South, music is ran through the veins. I'm actually a musician first. I was in band for like 10 years. I went to college on a scholarship for band. So music is kind of how I got even into the camera. So, but music, I love it. I love the South. So,
do you know I was a videographer before all this weight loss and I changed my life around? You know, that's what I did. I aspired to do, like music videos and make content for YouTube creators and all that. I was doing that, but I just obviously my God took to say, hey, like this is the route you're supposed to do,
right?
You know what I mean? So now I'm doing here and I get to talk with amazing people like you, and it's so dope that you're a videographer. And it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's so dope that I have you right now to talk about this, because I couldn't talk to the old Anthony Lopez being a videographer, but I could talk to you, and it's a lot of work, right? And I feel like there's a lot of like bad, I don't know what the right word to use. Like there's just a bad persona around being like overweight and being lazy and not working. Like my 600-pound life. Right? Not saying you're 600 pounds, but I'm saying like being overweight and like, oh, well, they're probably just lazy. They probably don't do anything. Like, but holding camera gear, running and gunning, setting up, all your equipment, breaking down the equipment. Like, it's a lot to do. Like, how do you feel like about my 600-pound life? Do you kind of hate that show? Do you watch that show? Is it annoying?
I don't watch it. I have seen it, and so this is why I know of it. Like TikTok, right? Like people put full like episodes of shows on TikTok.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
went down that rabbit hole. I went down that
so,
rabbit hole a
like-
couple times.
So it's really big on TikTok, and so like I've grown to know some of the people. I think like with anything there is bad and good in it. I think that it brings awareness to the fact that there are people like that who are out of control for whatever reason. But I think for the most part, like most people who are overweight are not like that. Like
I was
like,
I was over 600 pounds, and I was holding camera gear. I was working my butt off. Now, did I work as hard as I do now? No, because I didn't have like the physical ability. Like I had a lot of
Right.
limitations, you know.
Right.
But we work. You know,
Right.
we're overweight because our poor choice of food and probably the lack of discipline. But it doesn't mean we're just lazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that we're not trying to work on it. It doesn't mean that we
Right.
just want to be like have people shower us and put our socks on and stuff, right?
Right. No, never. That's actually something I take pride into. Pride of. I've never been lazy. Like you can ask anybody in my life. I always felt like I had to like prove that because I was already what people were gonna think.
I'm so happy you said
like
that.
you know, like I was like, well, I'm not gonna be because I look like this. So my whole life I've been a hustler. Like even in high school, I was in like every single club. I was on the track and field team. I did field. I was on the marching band, drumline. So I've always been active. Like even though I've been overweight, you know, like, I was
No,
doing
I
it,
mean
you know?
you're overweight. You're not disabled.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's you just said something that really struck something. Is that you just said your whole life that you've been having to prove yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Absolutely.
I've lived my whole entire life up until maybe the last it comes and goes. Trying to prove myself, because when you're the overweight person, right? When you're the biggest person in the room, like you have to be the funniest person.
Right.
And I'm speaking from a male, asking you for a female. Is it the same for you? Like, did you have to did girls make fun of you? Did you have to be funny, or like how was it? Because I don't know how it is to be a female.
I
So,
would
like-
say it was a little mix of both. Like as a female, like we don't do like the like obscene jokes, and you know, like we
You
don't.
guys
get,
don't do
like,
you girls don't do the titty slaps?
No,
Yeah,
no.
I've never seen a girl do a titty slap before. It's just a guy
no.
thing. It is strictly a guy thing, and I don't know where it came from, but like I have PTSD of that. Like I just want to like karate chop someone every time even when I see someone do it to someone, it just bothers me.
Yeah, but it definitely, I had to have some funny in me and be able to take a joke. But I also like, for me, I knew I had to be popular, right? Like it was like one or the other. It was like you're either gonna be lame and get picked on, or you're gonna be overweight, but you're gonna be so cool that everybody rocks with you.
They have to look past
Like,
it.
exactly.
I love that.
So-
oh my gosh, this is amazing. Shout out to Frankie for setting this up. But yeah, like it is. It's you. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Right. There's no you're overweight, but yeah, that's just him. That's like they don't know you, or they know you, or they make fun of you, or they don't make fun of you. Right. Because I was popular with people. Obviously, people know me in my high school, but going out other places, people didn't respect me. People didn't know who I was. They didn't care who I was. They just, obviously the
Right.
jokes, especially when girls are around. Speaking from the male form, that the jokes came out, the fat boy jokes, the titty jokes, the you can't see your wee wee jokes, you know what I mean,
Right.
stuff like that. So I felt like my whole entire life, like I always had to prove myself. To the point where like I even started social media with the Camaro, and I was working on it. And it was loud, it was fast. I won a lot of first place trophies. Met amazing people, but I quickly realized, and when I say quickly, I mean quickly when I started my journey, right? That was just a Band-Aid.
Right.
Like it was just a crutch. Like I generally had that Camaro so people wouldn't notice that I was overweight. Like that's why I have it, because since my grandpa passed away and I started working on myself, I haven't touched a Camaro. You know what I mean? And it's like I feel like I don't have to prove myself anymore. Like this is who I am. I'm Anthony Lopez.
Right.
And take me. I'm not meant for everybody.
Right.
Right? Not everyone's gonna like me. Even people that are listening to this podcast, maybe people who are listening to this podcast because of you, they're maybe not gonna like me. And I'm okay with that, because I don't have to prove myself to anyone anymore. Because as long as I wake up in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror, and I am happy with what I've done and what I'm doing and what I'm going to accomplish, we shouldn't worry about what anyone else has to say.
Right.
Now, is that easy? No, it's not easy. It's very difficult because we want to be liked and loved by everybody. Unfortunately, that's not how life is. But when you generally start to love and like and know your self-worth, you don't go fishing for compliments from anybody.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I had to develop that, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially I feel like,
It's built, not bought.
right.
Yeah, you got to build that.
And I think there's a difference. This is my personal opinion. I think there's a difference from being a overweight female and overweight guy, right? Like, there's so many more. I can't say there's more, but I definitely felt more like there was more emotion for me. And I'm the type of person, or I was, not anymore, but like growing up and stuff, I didn't really have emotions. I was kind of conditioned not to let stuff get to me. Like, not to let people didn't bully me because they couldn't. Like, after the first time,
that.
you know, after I felt like what that felt like, I remember it was in 7th grade. It was the first time I got bullied for my weight. I went home and I was so upset about it. It was by a guy. And, you know, my mom just was like, you do not let anyone steal your joy. So she like kind of
shout out to mom.
Yeah, you know, like if I didn't have her, she like instilled that in me. But like I went back and I was like, well, I can't change this about myself right now. And I don't even want to think about it. So I'm just gonna find all the strong points about myself. And like I feel like I such a young age, but I felt like that led me for a long time until it ran out. Like, I was like, okay, like, I've had every strong point. Like, I won senior superlatives. Like, I got into college that I wanted to go. I had, like, on the outside, you would think that I had, like, the perfect life no matter what, you know? Because people assume, like, when you're overweight, you're, like, weak. And no, like, I really had a good life. Like, I made myself have a good, like, teenage, early 20s. But it kind of ran out, you know? It ran out for me. And
let's not even get to the run out part yet. I want to stick to I want to stick to this positive, like, because this is because people think that because you're overweight your whole entire life you're a miserable person, right? Like I always say, like I generally loved myself at it, no matter what weight I was, right? Did I have an eating problem? Did I have a weight problem? 100%. But I love myself. I love my life. I didn't want to work on myself. I wasn't ready, but I just ate more than the average human being. Right. But I had a good life. My life wasn't tragic because I was overweight. You know what I mean? My life was, you know, did it become a tragic situation? I think I overdid it a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I had a good life, and I felt like there's like this. Is it a stigma? Is that the word I'm thinking of? Am I intelligent today? A stigma? Yeah. There's a stigma that like, oh, you have to be miserable. No. You should love yourself no matter what you look like, what shape, size. I don't care how if your eyes are separated far or not, a big nose, small nose, big butt, no butt, big gut, whatever it is. You should always love yourself no matter what. But you should always love yourself enough to fix those things that you see that it's possible to fix. Right. There's some things about us that we can't fix. Right. Like I hate how like my eyebrows stick out longer than like, I don't know. I just don't know where this came from, but I don't like it. I can't fix that. Right. But I can fix other things, right? And that's what we do. We focus on the things that we can't fix so much that we just don't work on the things that we can. Right. And when you didn't focus on the things you can't fix so much. You focus on the things that you have. Right. Like you took that and at such a young age, like that's badass because you lived a more positive life than I did. Like the way how you explain yourself. Because I have, you know, I remember the first time I was kind of let down for my weight. It was in elementary school. I think her name was Becca or Becky or something. Shout out to her for ruining my life. But you know, it was one of those things where I was hanging out with these guys and they're like, yeah, you got to ask her to Valentine's. She likes you. She likes you. She likes you. She likes you. And I was like, oh, you think so? No. And then like they did it all day. And then at lunchtime, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ask her out. And then, or ask her to the Valentine's Day dance. And then so me, all the boys went over there. I was going to go ask her and I ended up asking her. And then she's like, ew, that's disgusting. You're fat. And then everyone started laughing because they already set this up. Like everyone knew that it wasn't a thing. And I like am traumatized. Like I remember like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, that's the last time I let anyone I let anyone hurt me like that. Yeah. Right. So then I just kind of built a wall. Like I had to become like a badass. Like that's fat AJ. You don't mess with fat AJ, you know, because it's just like, I just started stacking them Band-Aids. Right. Yeah. Right. And I know that's what we're going to get to in a little bit more of the podcast of where kind of all the Band-Aids started to stack up too much and it became a problem. But no, the positive mindsets you had, I mean, shout out to your mom. That just goes to show like, when you have a solid support group, and I'm talking about support group as like your family right now, your life is unstoppable. Right. Like, cause when your confidence is high and your love for yourself is high and the support is high, like you generally feel, and I feel maybe that's why I got to over 600 pounds. I had too much confidence. Right. No, you know what I mean?
No, I definitely understand. That's something, that's why I always like have to tell people like about the South because of the culture, right? Like the culture I grew up in, like food is so big, right? Like food is so big down south. Like it's insane. Like now that I think about it and I'm in this mindset I'm in today, like you know, like how you eat on Thanksgiving, right? Like, you know,
I'm waiting.
like-
I am waiting
like-
for Thanksgiving. What do you mean? Like I look like this, but best believe I still eat like 600 pounds. Like when
Right.
the holidays come, I'm
Right.
smacking.
But see, the thing is, like down south, that's just not Thanksgiving. Like that's like Sunday dinner. Like it's like grandma's birthday. It's, you know.
So are you inviting me over, or are you just telling me about this? I mean, what's going on? When are we going back over to South? No, you know what? You know why I believe that? If people are gonna think it, I am a mixed kid, grown up and born in Orange County, right? So when I think of that, like I think of the movie Soul Food.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Every time,
Yes.
every meal they have, it was a 7-course
Yes.
meal. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's like I see it, I'm like, damn,
Yes.
like I think I probably got to 800 pounds, honestly.
Yeah.
My family cooks a lot, but like not like all the time like that. But it's like a tradition. Like every single
Yeah.
day, you sit at the table. Like my grandma would tell me, like every single day they would sit at the table and they would eat, but they were eating like full meals.
Yeah. That's how I grew up.
I was born before my
Yeah.
time. I need to be born
Yeah.
like 30, 40, 50 years ago when it was normal to sit at a table like that. But no, and like that's really cool. And,
Yeah.
and so you could just tell that you're a very, very like family oriented person.
Yeah, no, I am. I am, and food is our love language. Like, you know, when I think about like, you know, just how I got to be overweight and stuff like that. Like people think it's sad, but like it really is a story of love. Like, I actually lost my grandpa too, and one of his like things that he did, you know, he had all girls, and he made dinner every single day. He made dinner and dessert. So he'd make like peach cobbler or cake or something. But it
made
was
me
just
happy.
like, yeah, no, like, you know, you get home from school and like you just smell like fresh food.
Yeah.
Like it was hearty.
It was love.
But it was love, you
It was
know,
love.
like every day.
My grandpa used to, so my grandpa did two things for me. He did a lot, but the two things come to my mind. So my grandpa actually used to take me from his house, their house, the grandpa's house, to school in a wagon. He used to pull me. It was like no more than like 3 blocks, but he would pull me in the wagon, and I remember I would always call him like, "Grandpa, I don't like the food from today." He would always bring me McDonald's all the time. You know what I mean? Because he loved me, and he was like, "Well, my mijo doesn't like this food. I want him to eat food." But then at the same time, as I got older, they would give the conversation of I'm gaining too much weight, but then they'll still offer me food. Did you
Right.
get that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got
yeah.
the you look like you're putting on a little weight. You should probably slow down your eating. But then they ask you if you're hungry and they give you a plate that weighs 15 pounds.
Right.
It's facts.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. See, we're
Yeah.
looking. We're not the. I hope everyone's really paying attention to this. I've shared my story multiple times with everyone in my. I feel like my life is an open book. I think it's safe to say, and you're literally living a similar life to mine.
Yeah.
Only thing is you just didn't get as bad as me, thank God. But you know what I mean? It just goes to show that we're not. You know how they say like what they say, take to walk a mile in my shoes. I bet you could never, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, there's so many people that can walk in your shoes because there's so many people that are also going through the same struggles.
Yeah.
It just takes a certain few to really talk about their struggles and really take a second to sit down and build that game plan to work on those struggles,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Because me and you, I think growing up would have been friends.
Right. No.
Right, we
yeah.
have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Right, we have a
Yeah.
lot of the same upbringing. My family, your family, we're family people.
Yep.
Food is 100% love in my family. My family actually throwing them under the bus. They've actually all gained weight since I've lost all this weight. You know what I mean? So, but it's just love. It's just what
Yeah.
it is. Like you don't. My whole family, I don't think, see me at 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds. They were very, very shocked when they found out my actual number. They just see me with like what they call love goggles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And was your before you kind of made that switch into we'll get into it soon?
Right.
Did your family ever were you ever at the table and they talked to you about your weight, or did that not
Yes,
happen?
Absolutely. Over years, and I have to shout out my family and thank my mom. My mom really did try. I started gaining weight, I think, at 8 years old, and immediately my mom put me in the YMCA. There's like this program for at-risk obese youth. And
I was in one of those classes too. I did it one time. I was like, yeah, Mom, don't ever bring me back. You take me. You
Man.
said we're going to McDonald's. You brought me to fat camp. How
Yeah.
dare her?
But no, it was like your parents, like, and it was the kids and their parents
Yeah.
worked out together.
Same thing.
And, actually it was fun, but then the program got canceled. And so.
Damn, cancel culture that early, huh?
It kind of, that happened. And then over time, like, my mom really did try to the point to where I almost went to a fat school. Like, for real. It was like
My mom was gonna
it
put me
was
in a fat
on
camp.
and it was, she never forced me. I would just like, as I started to get like in my like adolescent years, like sometimes I would just like really have breakdowns about it, and she would ask me like, what do you want? Like, I want to support you, like I know you can do it. Like, so she's always believed in me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I almost went to like this school because it was on like good today. What is it? The Today Show.
Okay.
And it was like in the city that I lived in, Hilton Head, South Carolina. So like all these people were coming from like all over the country because they seen it on Today Show. But I lived like 20 minutes from it, and so I went. But no. Like,
No,
she
said no.
No,
Absolutely not.
Like I took a tour, and it felt like trauma. Like those kids did not look happy, and like I'm loving high school.
I mean, is anyone on a life change happy in the first couple of days?
Like,
you know what I mean?
man.
But you said that looked like trauma.
The kid, like it was like they kind of forced you to do stuff, which but like there was kids on horses, and they just looked so miserable, and they were like, you can't have contact with your parents. It was just like, it was really
There
like,
was a show like that. It wasn't called Fat Camp. I think it was on Disney or Nickelodeon, where like it was called like Fat Camp or something camp, but it was basically a camp for all overweight people. I'm gonna look it up. I think it's Fat Camp. I think they actually use the word fat, because now you try to do any type of show with fat in it, you're gonna get canceled real quick.
Yeah.
And so like going into, obviously not where we're at right now, but going back in like everything you've told me and everything I've been listening to your story and your upbringing, did you use like food as a Band-Aid or as a crutch? Like as you started to get into your adolescent, and I'm assuming around that time it's when the boys, right? When you started to like certain boys or whatever it might be, like, well, how did that go? Like, is that when it started to come around where you wanted to change yourself, or did you have like another situation that kind of brought light to it, or were you just like, I want a different body, like I want to change this body?
I just have been trying. It was never really like one thing, or it's always, honestly, it's been two things. It's been for me, like it's just been times where I'm just like, I really want to change, because I grew up like, out of all my siblings and cousins, like I was always the bigger one, and like I never understood. So I just kind of wanted to see what life would be like if I was in their shoes, or so, my friends around me. I was just always the bigger one, and I had grew to like accept that, and it was never a problem, because I do have to say this too, like just because you're overweight does not mean you're not beautiful. Like I had relationships, like don't let people tell you that. Like
Facts.
There's somebody for everybody, but it has to be healthy. So I'm just gonna put that out there. That was never a case for me. Like I just honestly wasn't really like seeking relationships at that point. Like
Okay.
I've always been like a hustler. Like I've always worked. I've just been career driven for a long time. And like I said, like that kind of fizzled out for me, like for a while. But like really, I think what did it for me is just like I wanted to try something different, and like a little bit of like just proving to people who thought I could never do it. Like,
Ooh, they
just
call
a
me
little
petty.
bit
They
of
call
that,
me Petty
like,
LaBelle. I'm Petty LaBelle when it comes to that. Like I'll go back to old comments from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna get fat like everyone else again." And I was just like, "Hey, so how did that comment work out for you, buddy?" Like, and I'm commenting like 4 years. It was like 2020. He
Right.
commented that. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, you see that last post I made?" But no, I completely get it. Because I know they say like don't do anything for anyone else, but at the same time, it feels good when these people have brought so much chaos to your life, because you can't control what other people say or do about you, and it is up for you to control how you take that and how you deal with the interaction. 100%. It's not the situation, it's how you handle it. But everyone has that side of them where they like to go back and know that they're doing better.
Right.
Like, hey, remember that time where where I was hanging out with that freaking girl, and you pulled up on me, and you called me you fat ass out of the truck when I was on a date with this girl? Yeah. Now you weigh more than me, buddy.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So
No, I mean, it's really
and yes,
like
I'm
that,
dumping my
though.
trauma right now, okay?
No, I mean, it's the truth. I'm not going to say so. It's crazy because, like, cannot believe, but my 10-year reunion is next year, like, of graduating high school. And, like, they already started, like, promoting it and, like, building this group. And
I didn't even go to mine.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I am. I haven't decided, but it's just like hilarious because you see the people who did make the comments, like it bothered you, and you looking at them now, like I'm like, bro,
Damn, like your highlight was 12th grade?
like for real.
Oh.
Like but like I really try not to have like like
it's life. We're humans. You're gonna have that little, and you know what though? It's as much as people are gonna hate to hear this. it's good for you.
Right.
Because it's good to know that you outworked the people that didn't believe in you. Now, were you working for the people that didn't believe you? No, you're not working for anyone. You're working for yourself to become better financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But at the same time, there's those people that just made your life a living hell for no reason, where it's kind of good to just walk up beside them and be like, hey, how's it going?
Right.
Remember me?
Right.
Okay, cool. See you later. Bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I completely get that, you know? And now, so like what led into your life changing and you like kind of, well, you started before Big John or did you start with Big John?
I started, so my story and this is why I even want to talk about it. This is why I document this. Like my story has been so like not linear. Like I went to college and I dropped 40 pounds. And
that's probably the hardest place to lose weight in college.
I didn't have a car. I lived in Tennessee in the mountains, and so it was no choice. It was inevitable. But I did start changing my eating habits. I was vegetarian for a while, so it was like.
How did that go?
No,
I was thinking because you grew up in the South. I'm assuming there was a lot of consumption of meat. And then you went vegetarian?
Well, I actually went vegetarian in 7th grade.
Was that for weight loss or was that no?
In 7th grade science,
you did that just because?
Yeah, they showed a movie and that was the first dirty. Of my activism. I was I went home, seriously, I went home and I tried to throw out bacon, all type of, my mom
Not
was
bacon?
Oh yeah, my whole, they're
I just picture you throwing the bacon in the trash and someone's like, no.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
I feel you.
That's what happened.
I did that with milk. I watched a messed up YouTube video on milk and now I don't drink regular milk. And I'm talking about, I was drinking a gallon a day of milk. And this is no cap. I was drinking a solid gallon a day of milk. My favorite was cold pizza and iced milk.
Okay.
Slaps. No one out there judging me. Don't. We all got our aches and our little, our little things we do. But that's crazy. The milk did that to me. I watched a video about milk. I don't drink regular milk. I do almond milk and stuff like that. Yeah. We actually make almond milk at home now. Ooh. Modified Frankie's always in the kitchen whipping up. We got something. You could try it. You could try it. If you guys can't tell, we shoot this at my house. We just got a nice little setup. And then so so now you lost weight though. Yep. You lost weight in college. You went vegan. That didn't work out. Was it more of so I know it was I know you said in junior high, but moving into the college era, that's when you said you went vegan again?
No, so from 13 to 22, I did not eat meat.
13 to 22?
Yeah, I did not eat meat.
Was it like a cold turkey thing? It was you watched a video, you went home, threw away bacon.
Absolutely.
10 years of just no meat.
Yeah, and everybody thought I was playing. And then
did you
until
lose
they
weight?
started no, and this is why.
I love you're no.
I just got to be honest. It literally took me years to understand. Diet is so important.
Yes.
I wasn't changing it the amount of food I was eating. I just was eating different food.
Yes, there it is. There.
I said,
hello message. And you know what it is? It's you use the word, and I never use this on my online coaching. Is diet. You know what it is? It's just simple life change. Because if you were to figure out how much food you should consume in a day, right? Whether you be vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, I don't know, whatever the vegetarians there are, right? And you ate at that deficit, it could be whatever food you want, as long as it's in that deficit, and you learned why you're eating that, why protein's important. There you go. There is your life change, right? Not a diet, because diets are meant to be broken. Diets are, I feel like crash diets, right? So what we do is we focus on a life change. Like you said, you had to learn that food is not the problem; it's the portion of this the problem, right?
Yep.
And now that you learned that and it took X amount of years of failing, but guess what? You're here now and you're working on yourself. And you realize that it's not about just, I'm going to go vegan, I'm going to lose weight. Right. Oh, I'm going to do keto, I'm going to lose weight. Oh, I'm just going to eat this magic pill and do cardio every single day and I'm going to lose weight. No, if you don't fix what you're putting in your mouth, you're not going to lose weight on any diet unless you're at a 1,200 calorie deficit. But if you're eating 3,000 calories a day, you can go to 1,200 calories for a long-term time, a realistically a time that's going to actually allow you to lose mass amount of weight. That's unrealistic unless you get the gastric sleeve or the bypass.
Right.
But then even that, it doesn't last. Right, Frankie? Right. Dang, she knows. She I had to call her out real quick.
No, but I did all of that. Everything you said, I did it all. And
same. Don't worry about it.
I want to trade my journey, right? And I feel like it's so important to be raw and open, because especially now that we live in a social media age, so many people can get online and fabricate stuff,
Oh
you know,
my
and that's my biggest pet peeve, because there is nothing wrong with it taking you more than a year. You know, people get online and they're like, oh, I lost X amount of pounds in a year, which if that's what you did, like, it's okay. But it's also okay if it took you longer than a year, because it's taking me longer than a year. So it's taking me longer than 2 years, because like, I really had to understand mentally, like physically I was doing everything. So like going back to your original question, right? Like when it really got started for me, I want to say like 2021, right? And
Is that COVID? No,
yeah.
2020 is COVID. So
Well, it
okay,
was
we had 2
coming
years.
out of-
COVID was like 2
It
years.
was coming out of COVID. So
Okay.
And then if we want to go there, like I actually signed up for the gym in 2020 and then it closed. So
Damn.
like I just felt like that wasn't for me anyway that year. But like
I don't think that year was for anybody. Let me just go. I've seen some friends that were skinny their whole life, and I was like, bro, what? The COVID 20 hit you
Right.
too? Like what?
Right.
Okay.
Right. But so 2021, like that's when I learned how to work out, right? Like I lost my grandpa during COVID, and
Sorry to hear that.
thank you. It was the hardest time, but it honestly, I felt like made me realize like I got to get myself together, because like also in that year, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. So like from the top of the year, my mom was in chemo and all of this, and she started coming out of into remission, and then my grandpa got diagnosed with this lung disease, and he died really fast. So and then my grandma has heart disease. So like I just started thinking like, you know, I'm like, bro, we got a lot of family issues, you know, and I'm Black, obviously, and it's a lot of the stuff that we deal with is common in Black people, and it's common like high blood pressure, and it's common in the South too because of our diet. And I just was like,
You
I
gotta
don't
be
want to
the
die,
change.
man. Like, you know, like
It's
for
that
real.
simple.
Like I woke up one day and I'm like, man, I want a better quality of life. And I also want to say this, like, the only thing that I've ever been diagnosed with was I had a little bit of high blood pressure, which also got me into working out. And as soon as I started working out, my high blood pressure went away. But
Well,
I'm like,
look at that.
Yeah,
You
like,
started to change
literally.
your diet a little. You started to change
I
your
didn't
eating.
I changed the diet at first. I just started working out.
You just started being more active.
And I want to say this because like at that point in my life, I was not ready to change my eating habits, and that's kind of where I can go with this. Like I didn't grow up having a problem with food, but I did develop a problem with food. I started binge eating my feelings, and so it started with like I was living in Tennessee, and like I didn't know where I was like wanting to go with my life. I had up and left to California for a little bit, went back. Like I was just all over the place.
You're finding yourself.
Like, yeah.
You were finding yourself, but
yes.
even though you're finding yourself and you had to figure out who CC wanted to be, you still are going to carry on with those bad habits,
Yeah.
right? Until you work
Yeah.
on them, right? So just
Yeah.
because we're working ourselves doesn't mean that the next day we wake up, the bad
Right.
habits are gone, right?
Right.
Yeah, but you had to learn a lot.
Right.
And you said
Yes.
earlier that you wouldn't change anything. And,
No,
I think
I
it's
wouldn't.
amazing. I wouldn't change
wouldn't.
anything,
Yeah.
everything, even to the point of like losing my grandpa. I've learned so much about life. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about that I'm stronger than I thought I was. And I also realized, and the biggest thing that I've learned from the whole situation is that life is too short.
Right.
Right, my grandpa
Absolutely.
could have died at 150, and I still would say life's too short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I had a whole family that looked up to me. I had a whole
Yeah.
family who wanted to see me win. You got a whole family who
Yeah.
wants to see you win. And sounds like what you're doing is that you pulled off all those band-aids, and you're figuring out who the
Right.
real CC wants to be
Right.
next. Right?
Right.
Because you had to become
Yep.
CC version 1 through 100 in order to get to a number 102.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And how good do you feel right now that you're working yourself?
I feel really great. Like I said, so I'll have to say this, right? So from 2021 to 2022, I did not change my eating habits. I tried and I failed a lot.
Okay.
But the only thing I was consistent at, and what I told myself was, I just need to learn how to be consistent at something. So I chose the gym.
Yeah.
I worked
That's
out
it.
like 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And I didn't lose any weight because my diet was still terrible. But I learned how to do something when I said I was going to do it. And
You build discipline.
Exactly.
You turn the consistency into discipline.
yes.
All right, you set a goal, and you set one solid goal to make it into the gym, and that's what you do. All my online clients listening right now, it sounds like something that we talk about. Like the first month, all I say is do your Monday check-in, get a couple of our workouts in, show up to your group, show up to our one-on-one Zoom call. That's all we do for the first month. Why? Because if we are overweight, or if we are not at the version of ourselves that we want to be at, if we are not in a body we want to be, if we are not living a life we want to live, if we're not happy financially, emotionally, physically, we are missing discipline somewhere. So what do we need to do? We need to step back from all the way back to the first step in life, and we need to build discipline somewhere. Because a lot of us live a life without discipline, right? A lot of us live a life, everything's instant, everything's now. We go on, like you said, Instagram. Let me just go ahead and throw it out there. I'm going to use this clip for Instagram, for our social medias. If you have a coach or you're following someone that you're interested in losing weight with, or you want to be like, or whatever it is, and they're telling you come lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds in 1 month, don't go with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, because I'll tell you right now, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go and you're going to sign up for this program. You're going to follow this unrealistic meal plan that's probably 12 to 1,500 calories. You're going to lose 10 to 15 pounds in the first month of water weight. And then you're going to go and put something bad in your mouth because you're not going to live off that meal plan for the rest of your life. And then you're not going to know why you had to eat certain things and why you had to do this certain things. You're not going to know why protein's important. You're not going to know what your macros are. And then you can go back into old ways. That's called a crash diet. So I see this all the time. Like, oh, come with us and lose 20 pounds this month. And what are you going to do next month?
Right.
What are you going to do the following month? What are you going to do the rest of your life? How are you going to teach your kids how to eat if you're just following a piece of paper? Right. And I hate that. When you brought that up, I was about to go ham, but you're spitting. Like you're telling your story and I love it. But like, it's annoying to see that. Yeah, right. Absolutely. And I spent like the last how long have you been following me on social media? Oh, okay.
I was ready for this.
Okay,
cool. Ready for this. Okay.
Okay. How long have you been following me?
All right. I followed you in 2020 and
COVID. TikTok first or Instagram?
TikTok. I seen the TikTok video and then I went to Instagram.
Okay, cool. So if you noticed, did you notice that I didn't start talking until late last year?
You definitely got on it more.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the reason why I didn't get on there and start talking, because how am I going to tell someone to walk through the fire if I haven't walked through the fire yet? Right? Yes, I was overweight and I lost a lot of weight. One, I should never been 600 pounds. But I've kept this off. And then not only did I get 350 pounds off, I built muscle. I built discipline day in, day out. Am I perfect? No. Am I done? No. Am I satisfied? Hell no. But at the same time, I was not going to say nothing until I was ready to actually speak facts and not just be like, oh, I did this, so you could do it too. And you have to do it like this. And this is the way, it's the right way. I had to go through all my learning. Now I'm talking. Now I see comments. Now I comment like, well, this is horrible information. And now I'm getting more interactive on my social media because now I have a voice in the community because I've walked through the fire. Now, am I done? Have I made it to the other side of the fire? No, I haven't made it to the other side of the fire. But I made it far enough to help out get other people where now I'm working with multiple people down 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds down the last 11 and 12 months, which at time doesn't matter. But I'm just saying I got weight loss under my belt, not only for myself, but multiple people that I know is going to be long-term because I've walked through the fire. I know that I'm not here to tell them like, hey, you're going to lose weight in the next 2 or 3 weeks and you're going to be successful the rest of your life. No, this shit's difficult. This shit sucks. You're going to break bad habits. You're going to have to do a lot of soul searching, but your life is going to change, right? And that's why I just started talking. I've never really brought that out of why I didn't talk before. I didn't earn it. I didn't earn the just because I had followers doesn't mean I should be talking about stuff. Right, just because I have a house doesn't mean I should talk about buying and selling properties. Right, just because I have a pair of boxing clubs doesn't mean go fight Oscar De La Hoya. Right, you gotta drag yourself through the mud and learn the ins and out. And I'm still not done learning, but I learned enough to speak. I learned enough to be confident. I learned enough to really guide people the right way and to be able to show them that like, hey, this is what's possible, but this is what everything is gonna have to be done. And here's my good days, here's my bad days, here's my wins, here's my losses, here's my fails, here's my weight gain, here's my weight loss. You know, this is realistic weight loss. I've been doing this for 5 years and I'm still not done learning. So anyone out there that's looking or is helping people lose weight and is pitching all this nonsense because you've lost weight and rapidly lost weight or whatever it is, you're an asshole because you're pitching an unrealistic lifestyle for someone that is not realistic for something that's not realistic for every single person because that's just how it is. You're an asshole. Sorry, you're an asshole.
I do want to say though, I think you earned the right to talk before you think you did.
Really?
And I want to say this because like
hype me up.
I have to because it's crazy because so I started following you and honestly, going back to you said like what kind of like made you want to get into this change this time and like you're honestly a little part of it. I've been watching you this whole time and I mean I'm talking about. I'm a fan. I will say this. I've watched your old stuff when you were kind of shy to talk on camera.
Oh, like yeah, I was insecure as hell.
All the way back. Like I'm that type of person, and I as a person who makes content for people, I enjoy your content, and I always thought like you didn't post enough, and then you started posting more for me, and like that's what made me even. I'm like,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
yes, like because I thought you were real, and I value that so much more. Like, yes, the information's important, like the science, all of that is important, but like I value so much more like real humble people, and. It was crazy because it was like in December, and I was really trying to figure out if I was gonna stay in Vegas or what I was gonna do with my life, and all I could just like keep landing on is like I really want to take my fitness journey serious. Like I don't want to like joke around anymore. Like it's this over everything for me right now. And then I
It's over
literally get on Instagram and I click on your story and you're like, I'm about to move to Vegas. And I'm like, what? Like it was so crazy. And then like I had started following Big John because you just post him so much. And like
That's my
when y'all
son.
were back in like California,
Yeah.
I used to just see him working out with you. So
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this guy? So, you know, I started following him, and then he's like, I'm moving to Vegas too. I'm about to be a trainer. And I'm like, I really want to train. Like, so it really was perfect.
It all
timing.
worked out.
It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? Because you found me at a time where you're not interested in your weight loss, but you were building discipline,
Yep.
right? You weren't interested in eating clean, but you're building discipline. Fast forward, you started working yourself. You started making the steps. No, you haven't lost 200 pounds in the last month, but you've been working yourself physically, emotionally, everything that you need to do, right? All your bad habits, right? I seen you working hard. Now you're seeing on my podcast. Don't you you literally, by you taking the right steps in life, the world, whatever you believe in, whoever you believe in, put you in this situation because you chose to make the right steps and take the right steps towards your better future. Like, don't you understand? Like, that is the craziest thing ever. Like, I didn't know you were a fan. I just seen, honestly, I seen you training with Big John, and then Big John told me you know me, but you already struck my eye because I know how hard it is to get in that gym. I was assuming it was your first time. Sorry about that. I assume, but but I know how hard it is to get in the gym at your first time. I know how difficult it is to be probably around your heaviest and to be around a whole bunch of people that are in shape. I know how difficult it is to do these workouts and feel like you can't do them. I know how it is. Well, I know Big John will never do this, but I know it is to have a trainer that will push you to the side because you're overweight and they feel you can't do anything. So like, I know how your first day, I was kind of putting your first day as mine. I'm like, I told Big John, I was like, she's a badass. And he knows how to train because I had to go and check in, not really check in, but I had to say, yo, you're training overweight people. Amazing. Push them.
Yep.
You're falling victim to thinking because they're overweight, they can't do. I'll tell you right now, they're stronger than anyone that you're training right now. Right. And then he started doing, he's like, damn, bro, you're right. I'm like, oh, I think I know a thing or two. I think I might know a thing or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I seen you working. I was like, bro, she's badass. And I've been trying to make it because I think it was like it was on Thursdays. He's like, yeah, come on Thursday. And it's been like 2 months and I still never made it. But you know, when we started doing the podcast and when I opened up the time slots for other people to get on my podcast and share their story, I was like, I want Cece on. I haven't got a chance to go and actually meet. This is actually the first time me meeting Cece, talking one-on-one. I've seen her in the gym and passing by, said hi and stuff like that, but we've never had a full conversation. And I'm glad we didn't because now I'm literally get to learn so much about you and people are actually getting to learn about the old Cece and where Cece is going now and where she's at today. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing from that, Cece, is I wanted to share with you is like, because you took the right steps in life to work on yourself on your time, now you're here on the podcast and you're inspiring and helping so many other people by just sharing your story of your trials and tribulations and where you're at today and where you're looking to go. You know what I mean? That shit is badass, man. I freaking, I love that. So like, where's Cece in the next couple of years?
In the next couple of years, like, I just really want to continue to grow and like develop like my mental. I've realized like in the past like couple months, like fitness is really important to me. Like I to the point I'm like, am I annoying my friends? Because like, I just want so much more for my life. I want to, like you said,
you're on the path.
Yeah.
You're on the path right now. You're on the path. You want you're like a sponge right now, Cece.
Yeah.
You're like a sponge in everything that you learn. Everything. Okay, I want to do this. I need to do this. I want to learn this. I need to work on that. And you stay on the path. Who cares if you're annoying anyone? If you're annoying, they won't pick up your phone calls. Trust me. If when you're on the path, you'll lose a lot of people. And that's okay. Trust me. I just posted something up today. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're on the path and you're gonna come out the tunnel a winner.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna come out at the end of the side in the finish line. Yeah. You know, everyone's gonna stay back at their own place, at their own pace.
Right.
But that's not you.
Right.
You're on the path. So whether they like it or not, you continue to grow and become the version of yourself that you want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So annoy the hell out of them.
Yeah. No, I am. I'm very like, I feel like for the first time in my life, like I'm choosing this life like first over anything, even over like, you know, I love what I do. I love working in entertainment, but even like there's just things that I've had to stop doing to grow in this space in my life. Like I don't drink anymore, and I'm cool with it. You know, I'm really like, I'll go out and, you know, hang out, but like I'm not eating the junk food that's there anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like
You learn how to say no.
Like,
you learn
I
how to
have,
respect
and,
yourself.
Yeah, I say no, and like I value my time. Like when it's my gym time, nothing. Like this is the only. I just want to let you know. Like I have a class I usually go to at 7:15. I said, this is worth it. This is worth the miss. But anybody else
I appreciate
knows me,
that. You're on the path, and I
yes.
stopped you. My apologies, but this is worth
no.
it.
I'm so excited. But anything else?
Nothing.
I'm busy.
Nah, I'm
Sorry,
busy.
I'm busy. For
No, you're not. You know what?
yeah.
You know, you're not busy. You're efficient.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
are. You're efficient. Busy is what lazy people say. And the reason why I say that is because all the times I bullshit myself and my friends and my family of being a busy person, of always working, always grinding, I wasn't busy. I wasn't efficient, so therefore I wasn't busy. It was just a facade of me wanting to look the part, to act the part. You know what I mean? To the Band-Aids, right?
Right.
The busy. You're not busy.
Right.
Cece, you are efficient. You are efficiently moving to the right direction
Yes.
where Cece wants to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's a word. You're not busy anymore. Lazy people say you're busy. Remember that.
I like that.
Lazy people
Efficient.
are busy.
Yes.
Lazy is the same thing as comfortable. And when you're busy, you're lazy and comfortable. That's when we know you're efficient.
Yes.
That's what we are. Efficient. So when someone's like, oh man, I'm so busy, I'm like, oh no, you're not. Because you ain't efficient, so therefore you ain't busy. Right?
Yeah.
Frankie knows I've been on a good one. I've been on a hot one lately. I'm about it. Because there's nothing better of being a teacher in a craft that you've mastered.
Right.
I've mastered bullshit.
Right.
I've learned how to master BS. I learned how to fake the funk and make it seem like I was busy and like I was like that guy and I got this and I have a pot to piss in. Right? I had a goal, I had a vision, but I wasn't executing anything, so therefore I wasn't shit.
Yeah.
But I played the part because I wanted to put so many Band-Aids. But once I started actually putting in the work, like when I genuinely doubled down on myself, like Anthony Lopez, my life has changed. Everything that I envisioned, I planted, but in the seed that I was going to be successful, that I was going to make X amount of money, that I was going to be able to help a lot of people.
Right.
When I stopped bullshitting myself and I worked towards my craft, now I'm here.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I stopped BSing myself, my life started becoming the true version of what it should have been. The lies that I was saying before is what my life started becoming. Now, people could say, well, you were planting the seed of you wanted to be successful. That's 100% true. I could be doing that, but no, I know what I was doing. I was BSing myself. I didn't believe in myself because I wasn't taking action. Once I started taking action, I started becoming the person who I am. And now the things that I used to BS about having and doing and being busy before, now I'm generally becoming that person because I took action on things that I was talking about. You know what I mean? And that's why I talk a lot more. Yeah. Because like you can't tell me. You can't tell me I've done it. Do I have more to learn? 100%. But you can't tell me my story. Right. I could tell you you could tell me your story, but you can't tell me my story. You can't tell me I did it right or did it wrong. Right. Right? At the end of the day, I had to go through every single thing. Every heartbreak, every good day, every bad day, every calorie lost, calorie ate, calorie burned, you know, good days at the gym, bad at the gym, missing gym, bullshitting myself, whatever. I had to go through all that in order for Anthony Lopez to be this version. I guess we call this version heavy to modified. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so I'm so excited to see what you're gonna do this year. Are you gonna go to your high school reunion?
That's so far away. I'm like,
that is kind of a long time. That is a long time. I didn't go to mine.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I didn't talk to you at the high school, I most likely don't want to talk to you 10 years later. I still talk to the people that I want to talk to in high school. I'm going to hang out with them tomorrow or Saturday.
Me too.
They're coming down to Vegas, going to go pool party. I'm not drinking. I'm on 75 hard, but you know what I mean? I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to go hang out with them. So I already talked to the people I wanted to see. And and that's just what it is. So it's like, you're a badass. Right. I'm so happy that we never really talked until now because I'm going to really go back to this one and just be like, so I know this is a good one. I know this brought a lot of value. This got to share not only a male's side of work on their life, it's a female side. And that's always good too, right? Frankie shares her story too, but like the more the merrier, right? And when we start talking about ourselves, when we start talking about our trials and tribulations, and when we start realizing that we're actually not on the walk alone, right? Is it a lonely journey? Yes, especially when you're not around people that are going through the same struggle. But we're not alone. There's a lot of people going through this. There's a lot of people who want to work on themselves. There's a lot of people that are unhappy, right? And then you feel like you're alone, but it's only because like I said earlier, it only takes a select few of people that really can look in the mirror and say, I have a problem, I want to fix it. There's a lot of people that look in the mirror and say, I'm okay with being fat, I'm okay with being this, I'm happy no matter what. But no, they're not. They're not. They're not. Have you ever looked in the mirror and said, I'm happy that I'm fat?
No.
I've never done that. Have I lied to myself? Shit, I'm the king BSer.
Right.
But I've never been happy because I was fat.
Right.
I've never, ever. When I got home from the club, from the party, from the whatever, and I didn't get that girl's number because obviously, you know, people got types. They have the right to have types. Fat wasn't her type. It would bother me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was never happy. Right. And people are like, oh, well, you know, it shouldn't be for anyone else. But no, when you're that age and you want the opposite sex to like you. So don't lie to yourself.
Right.
Right. Get out there and take action. When you look in the mirror, you see something you want to fix, build consistency, discipline to get it done.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's it.
I agree.
I love that.
That's
so
it.
I want you to end with some words of aspiration. Is it aspiration the word? Inspiration. Did I say aspiration? I just want to say the word ass. I'm childish.
Okay.
I just want to, I guess that's why I don't aspiration. I don't know where I got aspiration from,
man.
honestly. But I want you, CC, to leave, maybe this. How about this? Like, what would you tell the junior high CC, knowing everything you know now? Because that's when you had your first, your trauma, right? Was it junior high?
Yep.
Yeah. So what would you tell the junior high CC, now that you know exactly what you know now?
There's other people going through similar things.
You're not alone.
Yep.
You're not alone, even though you feel like it. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, you feel like you're alone.
Yep.
I guarantee you're sitting in traffic right now listening to this amazing podcast. And if you're not subscribed, go subscribe. If you're not following me, please follow. There's someone right in the car next to you, sitting in traffic, going through the same stuff you're going through, right? Yes, we're on our own walks of life, but you're not alone. We all want to fix something. The person that acts like they're the most happiest is going to be the most miserable. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd
The
agree.
person that's actually happy just goes on with their life and just does things that they enjoy. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you right now, the person that hates you the most, they're the most miserable too. Let me go ahead and throw that out there too, because there's a lot of hate out there. But don't feel that you're by yourself. Don't feel that you're in this alone. Don't feel that you even have to do this alone. Right? Go find someone that is on the same path as you. Go surround yourself around people that want to do the same things you want to do. Go surround yourself around people who want to better themselves. Yep. It's not going to be easy task. It's never easy. Remember that first day of high school? When you're in a new high school, right? You're at a new high school, you got new people there, you don't know everyone around. Was that first day easy in high school? It wasn't easy. Right? Because you had to step out of your comfort zone. You had to do something you're not used to doing. You had to walk to different hallways, walk to different classes, sit down next to different people. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but we have to learn how to be the most comfortable when we are the most uncomfortable. Yes. Right? Because when we start doing stuff like that, when we start getting uncomfortable, we start opening up doors to being the better version of ourselves. Right? And we're going to end on that note. Yeah. Thank you so much, CC. If you want to give your Instagram or anything like that.
Yeah. My business Instagram is CC Gilbert Photo, and if you want to follow me and my journey, it's at Madam Shooter.
You got a badass video Dove made for you with Big John. Yeah, he killed that one. He killed that one. Everyone go check her out.
Like that, so.
Everyone go check her out. And if this podcast brought value to you, please, please, please share it to someone that you care about. Share it to someone that might need a little bit of motivation, a little inspiration, or maybe a couple laughs. I feel like we said a couple funny things this time. And if you like this one, then go ahead and leave a comment, give a like. We really appreciate it. My goal is to have one of the best self-development podcasts in the world. How am I going to do that? By the support of you and by me giving this 150%. And with that being said, I will see you on the next episode of Modify Your Life Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Lopez, and today we had CC, and you killed it. You're a badass.
This happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man. It can't be.